Acha. In the ongoing discussion on the topic of transcription, we move forward to the discussion of stage of elongation. We have already discussed how the stage of initiation take place, and we have already seen that the promoter attaches with the promoter region attaches with the DNA polymerase, and it is the beauty of the promoter region that decides the preciseness of the transcription initiation, and following which there is a melting of the DNA, and formation of the transcription bubble, and that leads to a formation of this RNA. The initiation take place, and the beta subunit on the core subunit, beta subunit of the core enzyme that starts the transcription, by which forming phosphodiester bond. So here between the first and second nucleotide, and usually the first nucleotide is adenine or guanine. Next we proceed to the discussion on the stage of elongation. So as we see, RNA polymerase, the core enzyme, progresses along the DNA molecule to continue elongation. It continues to add successive ribonucleotides, and how the ribonucleotides will be addition of the ribonucleotides is dictated by watching previous step. Now the elongation phase of the RNA synthesis starts just when the first phosphodiester bond is formed. So actually the initiation and elongation, they are not markedly different. It is the initiation when the promoter site is selected and the promoter site binds, and the elongation is when actually the first phosphodiester bond forms. The substrate are in this reaction, the substrate are the nucleoside triphosphate. They are the nucleoside triphosphate are the substrate. So they have a 5' end bearing a triphosphate, and they have a 3' hydroxyl group. So with this much knowledge, we proceed to the next slide. So dissociation of the sigma subunit take place, and the core enzyme is now free. So we go to the previous slides. The lecture 2. So we keep open both of them, both of the talk, and we'll jumble over the two set of slides. So we go to that slide where we see that is very important in the class 2 lecture. In this slide, they're seeing there the last slide of the previous class. So it is the promoter clearance has occurred and the transcription initiation has started, and the sigma factor is now separated. The core enzyme is there, and this slide will show you the core enzyme, the polymerase. After the separation of the sigma factor, it will move towards the right, towards the plus side, more towards the 3' end in connection with the coding strand, and more bases will be added on. And how the first, after the first nucleotide, the 3' end is free. So you see the 5' end of the growing RNA chain, which is shown in the green, and gradually it is growing, and it is the 3' end. So now we will come back to the original talk, that is the lecture 3. What we see, affinity of the core enzyme for the promoter, affinity of the core enzyme for the promoter decreases markedly after the dissociation of the sigma subunit. Why it is important? Because the core enzyme had alpha, beta prime, alpha 2, beta prime, and omega. Sigma is gone. Sigma was responsible for promoter binding. Sigma gone, affinity of the core enzyme to the promoter has diminished. It is important because the role of the promoter is now no more important. It is the promoter, was required to select the initiation site to bind with the RNA polymerase. But now the unwinding has occurred to print complexes. Now gradually the polymerase will slide along the DNA. The coenzyme plays a pivotal role in the elongation phase, catalyzing the polymerization. So what is the coenzyme? Nothing but alpha 2 beta beta prime omega. So it will do its task, and most important is the 2 beta subunits. One is the beta, another is the beta prime subunit. And we shall see there is an active site of the polymerase, and which bears the 2 important magnesium ions. The polymerization occurs in the 5' to 3' direction in case of the replication, just in case of the replication. Here it is also the 5' to 3' direction. The first nucleotide is 5' because it bears the 3 phosphate residue, and one after another, the 3' hydroxyl group of the first nucleotide will be attaching with the 5' end of the next nucleotide. That we shall see. Important point to note here, what is written over here, you see, RNA polymerase is processive. Processive means it means that one polymerase enzyme will complete the whole task. It will not be exhausted. One polymerase will do the transcription of one gene completely, and thereafter another polymerase will come, another set of transcription will occur. But it is not that the RNA polymerase one enzyme partly does and then another enzyme does. Processive means one single holoenzyme does the total task till the end. Rather, it may transcribe more than one. Again, next, RNA how the process of polymerization takes place. You see there is a DNA, so there is the DNA is the template strand, and as you all know, the DNA template strand is 3' end. It helps in the binding of the first nucleotide, which is adenine, and thereafter one after another. So the first nucleotide is 5' in case of the RNA, shown in the green, and it has taken a hypothetically, we have seen 3-4 nucleotides have added, and thereafter there is one nucleotide having the 3' hydroxyl end, and new fresh nucleotide triphosphate is recruited. How it is recruited? It is based on the Watson-Crick base pair. So this nucleotide triphosphate is recruited and it base pairs with the nucleotide here. So in this diagram, this is the DNA in the template strand. It base pairs with the nucleotide triphosphate here. Just base pairs. No bond formation. Next. So elongation. So the most important component of transcription process is the event of polymerization, just like DNA replication. A process in which ribonucleotides are added one after another. In case of the replication, it was the nucleotides. No, deoxyribonucleotides. So ribonucleotides are added one after another in the 5' end of the newly formed RNA. The fundamental reaction of RNA synthesis is the formation of a phosphodiester bond that I was discussing in that slide. So the 3' hydroxyl group of the last nucleotide in the chain nucleophilically attacks the phosphate, the triphosphate, but where the alpha phosphate? It attacks the alpha phosphate. So it is the nucleotide triphosphate. This is the 5 position of the NTP. 5 position CH2O and triphosphate. So this hydroxyl group nucleophilically, nucleus loving, so it attacks the bond between the first phosphate and the pyrophosphate. These two is the pyrophosphate. So by attacking that bond, it now releases the pyrophosphate. So what we see again, the 3' hydroxyl group of the last nucleotide in the chain nucleophilically attacks the alpha phosphatidyl group of the incoming nucleoside triphosphate with concomitant release of the pyrophosphate. So this is very important. With concomitant release of the pyrophosphate. So it is the pyrophosphate which is released here. And next, so in this we again see what how it occurs. In this diagram, again it is shown. Usually, there is a metal ion, magnesium ion, which is attached to the polymerase. This is the polymerase shown in this light gray, and the green one is the RNA, and the DNA is there, and you see the nucleotide has comes, and the newly recruited nucleotide triphosphate comes and sits over this 3' end of the growing RNA chain. And after the addition of the nucleotide triphosphate, just it sits over there, and there the nucleotide triphosphate, as I have shown, there is the nucleophilic attack which take place on the nucleotide triphosphate done by the 3' end of the growing RNA chain. There is release of the pyrophosphate, and following which there is formation of the phosphodiester bond. And during the whole process, the metal ion holds the growing RNA chain in the active site, one of the metal ion. Another metal ion, you shall see, it leaves with the pyrophosphate. So let us come back to the discussion here. Length of the RNA DNA hybrid and the extent of the unwound area in the duplex remain constant as the RNA polymerase moves in the derivative rate. You see that the bubble remains constant. This indicates that the DNA is rewind upstream at the same rate as it is unwind downstream. Downstream, right hand side, rewind upstream. That means left hand side. So it is rewound so that the coil remains constant. Otherwise, the unwound region will fluctuate. The bubble size will fluctuate. No, it will be unwound in the right hand side and rewound on the left hand side. একদিকে গোটানো হবে, একদিকে খোলা হবে। তবে গিয়ে elongation চলবে। As the RNA polymerase causes local unwinding of the duplex DNA, the movement is associated with generation of positive and supercoiling and negative supercoiling, as I have discussed in the earlier discussion. So it is already been told. Regarding the elongation phase begins with the formation of the first phosphodiester bond. Repeated cycles of the nucleotide addition take place. Until about 10 nucleotides have been added, RNA polymerase sometimes releases a short RNA. Next, the reaction is thermodynamically favorable. Which reaction? It is the release of the pyrophosphate, which I was discussing there. The 3' hydroxyl group of the last nucleotide in the chain nucleophilically attacks the alpha phosphoryl group of the incoming nucleotide side phosphate with concomitant release of the pyrophosphate. And this breakdown of the pyrophosphate, which was released there. So this pyrophosphate is released here. Now it breaks down into 2-phosphate moiety, and this is thermodynamically favorable, and subsequent degradation of the pyrophosphate to orthophosphate locks the reaction in the direction of the RNA synthesis. What does it mean? It means that if the pyrophosphate was not broken down into 2-phosphate, the whole reaction of phosphodiester bond formation would have become reversible. But in breakdown of the pyrophosphate does make the reaction irreversible, and the elongation goes on. The catalytic site of the RNA polymerase is into 2 metal ions, normally magnesium ion. One ion remains tightly bound to the enzyme, that you see. One of the magnesium ion remains tightly bound to the enzyme, and the other magnesium ion moves along and leaves with the pyrophosphate. So this is how the RNA polymerase actually active site has got 2 metal ions, and it is the core polymerase which remains attached to the growing RNA chain with the help of this active metal, and the other one really helps to move the pyrophosphate PPI negative charge, and the magnesium positive charge. It helps to release the pyrophosphate. So, and with the breakdown of the pyrophosphate releases the energy, and it is thermodynamically favored, so that this sugar phosphate backbone has become permanent. So the next, there will be moving of the next translocation. So very important, the sugar phosphate backbone bond formation is occurred. This permanent bond formation has occurred. The metal ion remains attached to the active site, but the metal ion bearing active site has now moved. The polymerase has moved right side, DNA has moved to the opposite direction. RNA has moved to the opposite direction. The green one is the RNA, and that has moved to the opposite direction. That means the left hand side. But the polymerase has moved to the right hand side in the correction to the coding strand. So that now a new base of the coding strand, new nucleotide on the coding strand is free and it is exposed. It is exposed means there is no hydrogen bond, but there is a Watson-Crick base pairing is possible. So another next nucleotide will come and sit over, and just like repeating the same events, another sugar phosphodiester bond will form. So this is the role of the metal ion and the active site in following one after another phosphodiester bond formation. Now translocation. The RNA DNA hybrid must move relative to the polymerase to bring the 3' end of the newly added nucleotide into proper position for the next nucleotide to be added. This translocation step does not include breaking of any bonds between base pairs, and it is reversible. So it is very important that it does not disturb the energetics of the DNA transcription process, because there is no question of any breaking of the bond. Just sliding movement of the polymerase occurs and it exposes what it does. The addition of the next nucleotide will be possible, and again the polymerization will occur and release of the pyrophosphate will drive the next phosphodiester bond formation. But what is left out is the backtracking. So proofreading. The RNA DNA hybrid can also move in the direction opposite to that of the elongation. So instead of moving up in this diagram it may move to the instead of moving down, the polymerase may move upwards. The polymerase, and that means this RNA DNA hybrid, which normally in respect to polymerase it may move opposite side. So normally there is the polymerase bearing the metal ion, and after the polymerization it should move downwards, but here it is moving on the opposite direction. Why? This backtracking is less favorable energetically. However, backtracking is important for proofreading. Incorporation, there you see in this diagram, the backtracking. The RNA polymerase normally, and now here it is backtracking. The RNA polymerase is backtracking. Why it is backtracking? It is now positioning the wrongly inserted base. It is positioning the wrongly inserted base, and thereafter there will be hydrolysis and removal of the wrongly inserted base and the one base ahead of that. So it removes the wrongly inserted base, total sugar phosphate backbone. Initially it is the sugar phosphate backbone has formed. Now it moves, the enzyme has moved this side, and there will be now the sugar phosphate backbone is here instead of here. The sugar phosphate, the phosphodiester bond is here. The phosphodiester bond was there, now the phosphodiester bond is here. That means the polymerase has moved upwards. But normally polymerase should not move in that way. But now what it happens, there is a water molecule comes and it removes that one base added and one base in the green. That means one base which was there already previous to that which one was added, and total raw RNA is formed, and now the two new bases following the Watson-Crick base pairing. So that is what I have written there. After polymerase has backtracked, the phosphodiester one base pair before the one that is just formed is adjacent to the metal ion on that tip. So phosphodiester bond before one that just formed is now adjacent to the metal ion. In this position a hydrolysis reaction occurs. So in this position a hydrolysis reaction occurs, and a water molecule attacks the phosphate, can result in cleavage of the phosphodiester bond and release of a dinucleotide. So very important, release of a dinucleotide, and there will be release. So there will be a release of a dinucleotide, and what is remains is the original RNA, part of original growing RNA chain, and the nucleotide wrongly inserted. So 1 + 1 removed, and newly now the elongation will start again. Now the whole question is whether proofreading occurs in RNA. At your undergraduate level, I think if the examiner asks you, the question will be answer will be sir, proofreading doesn't occur now. But RNA polymerase has some capability of proofreading, as even in the last class, in the first lecture, I told you that proofreading doesn't occur. But it is seen that some of the RNA polymerases are capable, but some of the RNA polymerases may not. But as we all know that a wrong transcript doesn't mean just a wrong protein molecule. But one protein molecule is not a big problem. The next protein will be okay. But in case of DNA, proofreading is absolutely essentially a wrong replication occurs, then that amounts to mutation. So that is why proofreading is not so important, but to an extent proofreading can occur. So this is what today's this second class on the translocation, or rather third class, where a transcription, the process, what is to summarize the class, the stage of elongation, it starts as and when the core enzyme, the release of the sigma subunit, the core enzyme becomes free, it slides along with the RNA, and there will be bubble is formed, and one after another bases will be attached. The first base is uh, usually purine, followed by one after another, and how the mechanism we have shown here. What is the mechanism? And there is pyrophosphate is released. Important role of metal ions in the active site. Elongation continues. Important thing is this. This is the mechanism of elongation, and next is the sometimes RNA, short RNA will be released, but that is not a very important thing. Important thing is the pyrophosphate, role of pyrophosphate and role of metal ions, and finally there will be translocation, and that is very important, translocation of the enzyme, and it does not involve any breakdown of the any energy, any phosphate bond. It is just a spontaneous process. But if an error occurs, RNA polymerase doesn't usually prefer to backtrack because it is not energetically favorable. It does not have that robust 3' 5' or 5' representation is active. But sometimes it occurs. If it can correct immediately, it can take this action. So this is all about elongation. Next we proceed to the termination of transcription. Thank you.
উদয় পাচ্ছি না ডেকে নিয়ে ডেকে নিয়ে ওকে ডেকে নিয়ে টাইপ করছে তো